For about 6 months I've been using the Rocketbook Everlast, which I got in an effort to reduce how much paper I purchase and use. I did the artist's way and started doing morning pages a little bit more than 1 year ago. And after a few months of doing this, I realized that when you write 3 papers every morning with just longhand writing, you're consuming quite a bit of paper over the course of a few months or a year. When I found the Rocketbook Everlast, it felt like a gift sent from heaven. A notebook that you can just fill in with anything and then erase it and have it as a brand new notebook again. If you're not familiar with Rocketbook, here are the basics of how the concept works. This version of Rocketbook is called Everlast, and it's the model from Rocketbook where you can erase the pages using water. There is another model which you can erase all the pages by putting it in the microwave for a few minutes. But I haven't tried that model, so I'm not sure how it is working, and this is only about the Rocketbook Everlast with erasable pages using water. The Rocketbook pages are made out of some kind of plastic. When you're taking notes with one of these pens, the Friction from Pilot, they are using this erasable ink, and when you use them on the Rocketbook Everlast, you can then erase the ink only by using a little bit of water and just wiping the pages off. Normally when using one of these Pilot Friction pens, you can erase the ink, but then you need to use the back side of the pen, and then you just erase a small part at a time. Of course though, if you make a typo when you're writing, you can just erase it with the back side of the pen as you could with any kind of paper and using the Pilot Friction pen. There are a few other things that make the Rocketbook special. First of all, you can use the app and you can just scan the pages and it will scan them in a way that make them look more like if they were scanned from a regular scanner than if they were taking a photo with a mobile phone from a piece of paper like this. Then you can also, when you're using the app, make sure to write a headline. So when I did this, the double dash and then hi YouTube and then double dash, and I then take a photo of this, it will sync and it will automatically add this as the headline to whatever source that it syncs to. You have 7 sources to choose from, and when you have been making a new page and you want to sync this, you just select at the bottom of the page which source you want to be using, and then it will automatically sync into this source. Here you can see how it works live when I'm doing the whole process. Fill in your headline within the dashes, fill in your notes on the paper, choose where you want to sync, which source you want it to be saved to. Then you bring out your phone, open the Rocketbook app, you take a photo or scan the page, you edit the headline if you need to, and you edit the source where you want to send the material, and it will be sent to this source and will show up like this. It's a pretty simple and straightforward process, and I really enjoyed using this. So I basically saved all the notes that I've been taking, and then I erased all the pages after I saved my notes. So how is the Rocketbook to write in? It is a little bit different to writing on normal paper because you have less friction when you're writing on this kind of plasticky pages, but you get used to it really fast, and I would say that after using this for about a week, I wouldn't feel any difference to writing in a normal notebook. How easy is it to erase the pages? Well, this part is quite interesting because it definitely takes some time. First of all, you have to take pictures or scan the pages that you want to save, and then you have to wet all the pages and preferably dry them as well. There is a little cleaning cloth included in the package, but I lost this one pretty much immediately, and therefore I had to use regular toilet paper after that. So I use one piece of paper that I have wet, and then I wipe the page, and then I use another piece of paper that is dry to dry the page off. And by using a relatively wet piece of paper and just wiping it quickly and then wiping it with the dry, I can get up to quite a good speed in cleaning off the pages. But still, if I have to clean the whole book off, I would probably have to set aside about 10 minutes to do that work. I'm not very big on drawing or sketching, but I went to a museum yesterday and I was really inspired. So this morning, after I had done my regular morning routine, I decided that now it's time that I sit down, looking out through the window and then try to sketch something. And I was doing this also in the Rocketbook, so then if it didn't turn out very well, I could just erase it straight afterwards. Sketching worked really well with the Rocketbook as well. And the friction pens come in a few different colors, so you can definitely use this book for sketching and not only for writing. It also has these small dots, so it doesn't have lines and it's not a completely white page. It has those dots, so you could use it to kind of like find different perspectives or know how long a line is or similar things like this. So what are the negative things about the Rocketbook? Because so far I mainly mentioned positive stuff. The main negative thing I would actually say is not about the book, but about the pens. So these Pilot friction pens, they run out pretty quickly. The first one I used that was included with the book was a 0.7mm one, and this one ran out in less than 2 weeks. Then I bought refillables, new cartridges, and I replaced the 0.7 with the 0.5. And this one has been running a little bit longer, but still it runs out pretty quickly. And I always get surprised that it's already run out, although I know that I'm writing a lot of notes since I'm writing 2 to 3 pages every morning. What you have to do when you're using this book very much is to have a little stash. So I bought like 3 of the packages of cartridges in different colors. In one pack there's 3 cartridges and one pack cost approximately €8. So each cartridge is about 2.5 to 3 euros. And if you compare that to buying notebooks, it actually turns out that it could be cheaper for you to buy a new really cheap notebook and keep writing in that one. But I really like that when I'm traveling and when I'm out on the road, I can use the same notebook, I can save my notes, but still I can keep writing in the same notebook and not have to carry multiple ones. Another thing that is not perfect is that there's only 38 pages in the book. 38 pages might sound like it's a lot, but when you start writing a few pages every day and maybe put some notes in there that you actually want to save and not erase out of it, you run out of 38 pages quite quickly. The last thing that I found to be a bit of a negative is that sometimes the ink is a little bit unreliable. The whole point of the book is that the ink can come off pretty quickly, but for example, I was putting it onto my bedside lamp, and that lamp is like on really low light, but still it is producing some heat, and when I had it on that lamp and that heat went up to the book, that erased the ink and it was gone pretty much all the way through the book. So keep a little bit of an eye out for not placing it on hot surfaces. You might lose all your notes if you do so. And last but not least, I have to mention and I had to test what happens if you write in this book with non-erasable ink. I wrote with a regular ink pen and then tried to erase it, but it doesn't go off. It's just permanently in this plastic, and that page is screwed up, so at the moment I only have 37 pages instead of 38. If I don't write stuff on top of this page that I have destroyed in the end of the book. But let's say I did it for you guys, so you know that if you write on this book with a non-erasable ink, you cannot get that ink to disappear afterwards. All in all, I'm incredibly happy with my purchase of the Rocketbook. I paid quite a premium for it. It was roughly 30 euros, including one pen with one ink cartridge and this wiping cloth. Pretty expensive, but for getting both the book and getting the app with all the functionality of the app that syncs with Google Drive, with Dropbox, to email and to a bunch of other sources, I actually really appreciate this whole setup of this book. I'm using it every single day to write my morning pages in the morning, and then for any other notes or any other scripts or any drawing or sketching or whatever I need a book for during the day. The only thing I'm not using it for when it comes to note-taking is when I don't have it so that I have to take the notes in my phone, or when I'm doing something related to my goals of the year, because I have them in a separate small book that I carry with me most of the places that I go. Except that this is my one and only notebook, and I think it's gonna stay like that for many years to come. I will keep using the Rocketbook and I will keep writing my morning pages every morning and then be able to save them, but also erase them and start over again. It's quite a nice feeling as well when you're erasing it and have a fresh start. You kind of semi-erasing your memories and thoughts and feelings that you put down on paper, and then you start over. If you have any questions about the Rocketbook Everlast, please place them in the comments below and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. If you want to buy the Rocketbook Everlast, have a look at the description below where I will put links to where you can buy it at the cheapest possible price. I am W2Best, I make videos about tech, travel and inspiration, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!